Hi, this is the third in a three-part video series looking at some of the key types of knowledge that native speakers have and that non-native speakers may need to be taught. The first video looked at the importance of context knowledge and familiarity with other communicators, as well as Bryce's cooperative principle. The second video considered genre knowledge and discourse markers. And this final video will look at grammar and vocabulary knowledge just briefly because it's a huge topic, right? Grammar. The grammar used and needed to know in everyday speaking is very different from writing. Did you know that? Most of the differences come from the combination of the spontaneity of conversation, face-to-face situations, frequently or usually the conversations are face-to-face, and the familiarity or how well people know each other of those involved in the conversation. The need to react and interact means that much spoken English is done clause by clause. One clause is stated, someone asks a question or makes a comment, and another clause is added on. Or one clause is stated and the thinker, then thinks of something else and adds on another clause and adds on another clause. This real-time communication is also responsible for a lot of false starts, repeats, hesitations, and just incomplete thoughts. I suspect also that the frequency of question tags, isn't it, don't you, and right, for example, also connect to the spontaneity of language, because our brain starts saying a sentence, but by the time we get to the end of the sentence, we realize that maybe we should soften it and make it sound a little nicer, so we add a question tag at the end. The face-to-face and familiarity part allows vagueness and ellipsis, meaning the dropping of some words or phrases. Because even if the listener doesn't understand, they're right there and available to ask follow-up questions. But words are dropped also because redundant information drains the listener's attention for little benefit. It means that when phrases are repeated in conversations, they're being emphasized for a reason. Okay, that's the rule. While vague terms like sort of and in a way are frequently found in spoken speech, I don't ever remember seeing them taught in a speaking textbook. Probably because they are highly inappropriate in written text. It seems like it's time to allow speaking lessons to reflect real language. Vocabulary. Vocabulary is essential to speaking. However, research indicates that a language learner needs to know a lot fewer words to speak than to write, read, or listen. This should encourage us to promote more speaking at earlier levels instead of following past patterns of reserving it for higher levels. As we've already talked about, you can assist learners' speaking efforts by teaching them various discourse markers, their meanings, and appropriate uses. We can also teach scripts or chunks of words such as the thing is or what can you do? Idioms, slang, phrasal verbs, and social formulas also can be taught as discrete language items to learners. And then you have collocations that should be pointed out whenever possible. Many prepositions, for example, can be learned as collocations, such as looking forward to, and she got on the train versus she got in the car. Okay, so the collocation there is in the car, on the train. Okay. The other aspect of teaching vocabulary is the need to let learners know whether it is a formal or informal term. Can it be used with friends, with police officers, with teachers? These questions get into the register of the language, and even when students know the difference, it can be difficult to apply it. I remember when I was in Japan, I had spent a year or more learning only the formal version of Japanese, which mostly shows up in the word endings. At first, everyone was fine with that, but as we became friends, they expressed displeasure with the formality and asked me to drop it. So I did. But then I moved to a different location and I continued using the more informal endings. I found that some people didn't appreciate that. However, even though I knew the difference between formal and informal language, I lacked the fluency to apply them correctly. By practicing various registers in the classroom, perhaps through role-playing, instructors can help develop this register fluency. In review, we have considered grammatical differences between speaking and writing, as well as the vocabulary needs.